Hello, Darthvegan here, back with another episode of Thrones of Britannia, the Kingdom of Circenn. Last episode, we had a battle lined up with two of the Dane armies against two of our armies. It's a pretty even match, and we even have the king of the Danes there with us, and we have Dubgul and Male Snetcha for our side. Let's take a look at the terrain. Nothing special, I'm sure. Pretty standard. Now, a little bit different this episode. I'm going to be doing the post-game commentary on this because my microphone cord, I adjusted my microphone and then I accidentally knocked the cord loose, so it did not record any of my commentary. So I'm sure I'm saying all kinds of interesting things right now in the original recording, but this is a post-recording. So the balance is pretty even, and we're going to go up into battle against the Danes here. Now, something I do recall, since I just recorded this, is that you'll see that they have a great deal of infantry here. Far more infantry than we have. We have a large contingent of ranged. However, their infantry far surpasses ours, not only in quantity but quality. I mean, they have several units of berserkers there alone, and they don't break. So you have to kill every single one of them, and that's such a pain. Such a pain. So we're going to try to see what we can do against this massive Danish army that has invaded our lands. And hopefully we can repulse them and take back what was once ours. Now, I do worry because there's a second Danish army, Viking army in the north, but we'll deal with them later. So, it's raining, nothing we can do about that. We do have a nice hill here, so I'm thinking we'll set up our army on this hill, and we'll get our archers and get them set up. Nice line as well. Get our calves, got both our lord and our elite cavalry. Get them lined up, and then get our spearmen in a more spread out position to help against charges and defense, and get them going, and I think we're good. Now, we have to wait on our reinforcements, which you can see in the mini-map there are down in the bottom left-hand corner, which is not cool. Not cool at all. So we're pretty spread out, whereas his armies are not that spread out. So he is lined up right there at the bottom of the hill. I'm thinking, yeah, we can take him on while we wait on our reinforcements. And so our reinforcements are starting to arrive already. They're coming up behind him. I'm thinking that's perfect. We can move in, sandwich him between our two armies, and then we'll be all good. However, he had different plans. I was a little worried about that reinforcement army of his coming in against me in the side there. So I started getting my guys lined up so that they could start moving, and then I saw that he was moving towards his reinforcements. I was like, oh my god, that's terrible. So I started moving my army down to see if I could get him to engage, and then this army over here, I tried to get them ready to start moving as well, so I could maybe circle around and reform up with my own army. And then I noticed, oh man, he's got his cavalry out as screens, and I was worried sick about my second catapult here in my reinforcements. I was afraid that he was going to send his cavalry out against me, so I decided to get my unit of cav here, pull them back to act as a screen as well. And so I started getting all my other cav over there as well, since he has several units of cavalry, and I thought, you know what, screw this, I'm going to make a stand right here and utilize my catapult to the best of my ability. So I went in and started forming up my battle lines while my other army continues to move down the hill, and then I thought, well, I'll bring them down here instead of moving this army up to meet him. So I started firing my catapult at the enemy and getting my formation set up here in this reinforcement army, which I believe is Male Snetcha. So got my catapults shooting the the enemy there and trying to get into a position here that I think will benefit us here. So in the meantime, we see that the enemy general, he's left his general behind while he moves his army up, which was kind of a strange thing for me. I didn't know why he did that, but I started moving my army on up. And I thought, well, maybe I can just take out that general up there while I'm at it. So in the meantime, back here in the second battle, he's moving up with his reinforcement army while his second army is coming. And I'm coming up with my original army, which is now my reinforcement army. And the battle has now begun officially. My archers are shooting into his units. I got my catapults turning around so that they can start firing once again. And he's bringing in his massive infantry army into my ranks here. So he's got lots of berserkers, javelins, archers, all moving into position. He's got his cavalry swinging around the left flank, so I decided to move my cavalry up to protect that left flank. And I was going to move my other cavalry over here to the right flank, and then I thought, no, come back over to the left flank. He's got 2 units of cav coming around my left flank. Can't have that. And then I left my right flank completely exposed. So that will come back to haunt me. So we're forming up here. We got up here. We see that the general is continuing to hide in the trees, so we decided just to go ahead and take him out while we're up there. And I get my archers in position to fire on him. I should have just brought them on down to continue the battle against this, because I'm afraid they would get taken out by those guys. So you can see he's got some cavalry swinging around the right flank there, just coming right into my archery line, which is brutal. I get my cavalry getting that left flank secured, then I grab some of my infantry and move them down in to intercept that cavalry. Then he brings another cavalry unit into my rear line there and just smashes into my archers. I bring back another unit of infantry to reinforce and start moving all my other infantry units up to engage his armies as they swing forward and try to surround me. So far we're actually doing okay, not excellent, but we could definitely be doing better. But his army is taking a bit of a beating, as is mine. He's still got that cavalry back there in my archers, but they're finally giving up the fight and they're running away now. So they are no longer a threat at this second, at least. And I'm picking my targets from my archers, see if I can get rid of some of his skirmishers, bringing my cavalry back, hopefully to intercept this wedge of Huskarls that are coming in at my archers. That one unit of infantry that's down there trying to help out, I'll swing him up, try to intercept him as well. Got my cavalry in there, gonna take that other cavalry around to intercept some of these pesky archers and javelins that are just completely wreaking havoc on my front line right now. As you can see, my front line is really suffering. Got one unit in the red there and a couple other units in the orange already from all the enemy manpower that's just slashing us up. I mean, he's got both of his armies engaged. Only one of my army is engaged. The rest of us are all stuck up here fighting these freaking holding battles, which is exactly, I mean, I'm sure the AI didn't intend for it to be that, but it's exactly what it accomplished. Just held my army back so that his army could continue to wreak havoc on us. However, I do get my cavalry around in the back, and we are just destroying his skirmishers and his archers. So that's good. We are starting to get the upper hand on the right flank a little bit, but he brings in another unit, but then they turn around and join the main line battle for some reason. I don't know why. But we're continuing to wreak havoc on his archers in the back. I do bring out one of my King's Blades against one of his archers, and that will hurt me in the end because they kind of get separated. I kind of lost track of what they were doing, and so we'll see here in a moment that they kind of get out of position, and they really could have helped that front line a lot better if I would have came in the rear and done some work. But the second catapult has done nothing this battle. I mean, my God, he has not fired a shot. My archers are trying to help alleviate some of the pain there, My King's Blades are off to the right somewhere, just not even doing a darn thing. My cavalry got in some crossfire, so they're doing not so good now. I need to get them out of there, but for the moment I'm keeping them there. There's a unit of spearmen coming in to try to trap my general, but unfortunately I don't get him out in time. And we're trying to finish off this last group of berserkers. They of course fight to the end, and so it's not cool. They got another unit of Huskarls coming up. I'm trying to bring out some of my infantry to protect my archers, since we're not all needed against those berserkers. Get Dubgul out of the fight there. He's losing some troops, so I'm getting him out from those berserkers. Going to come against these Huskarls. Hopefully we can do some damage there. Looks like we're taking nice hits with our archers on that Huskarl unit. They're doing quite well. Take some spears up there to hold them in place and let the archers do their work. Down here, the front line is just crumbling. I mean, they're not falling, they're not running, but they're dying in place. However, now that I say that, we do have our first rout on the right flank. It's starting to crumble. Our general back here is in bad shape. He needs to get out of there quick. He needs to get out of there quick. Melsnetcha, don't die. Get out of there. Get out of there. Our other cavalry unit is up against spears. He needs to get out of there quick. I see my King's Blades are just sitting down there doing nothing. They need to get back in the battle. And just up here in the original group, Dubgul's group, they are now finished with the holding army. They're going to come down and smack this army in the back. This at first was something that I was worried about, because it was my army down here was just getting wrecked. But I think in the end it really helped me, because they were largely in good health, in good position, and their vigor was still nice and high. So I think it kind of helped me in the long run that they had those holding units there, because in the end I was able to get them in a position against these guys down here who have just been fighting so long and so hard. And so I think this helped us out quite a bit, actually. Trying to keep my archers moving so that they don't get wrecked by these units that have broken through our front line down there that only consist of one unit now, and all the rest of them are gone. But it didn't really work out for me. The archers all crumbled as well. So I'm getting my archers getting ready to fire now, getting ready to form up my second front line, while he is struggling to get his guys back into a formation of sorts. I bring up my infantry line and trying to get my cavalry in position, get my general out of the fray. I don't want Dubgul to die, as well as Melsnetcha. So get Dubgul out of there and try to bring him around to support our troops on their right flank. So so that I think helped me out a lot, because in the end we do have a little bit of wavering, but we're going to try to go ahead and start engaging these enemy infantry units with ours. Like I said, the vigor on ours are quite high still. They haven't done a lot of fighting, so they're all quite fresh, whereas his warriors have been battling this entire time, so they're quite tired. In addition, my archers have tons of ammo still and are completely protected, just back there just throwing bolts and arrows into the enemy like nobody's business. I mean, it's crazy the amount of firepower they're putting down there. And of course my catapults are still moving up. They might get a couple of volleys in before the end of the battle, but for the most part they're just sitting back there. Now they're getting some shots in now. I can see that they've used up a little bit of their ammo. So they're firing at some of those backline units, get some of those Huskarls taken out maybe. My guys are doing okay. We're holding the line. Get Dubgul over there to support, and Melsnetcha is still alive at this point. He's going to come over there and support as well. And yeah, our front lines are holding well. The the enemy does have superior infantry, even though my guys are fresh. So I decided to try to focus some of my archer fire and hopefully try to use my generals to give us some boost of morale and vigor and stuff. So I get my archer units, I go ahead and separate them up, and I start picking targets for them. I notice that I have one unit of spears facing 2 units over there, so I take a couple of my archer units and start firing at them. And then I move a couple of my other archer units down here to get a better line of fire into these enemies that are facing our front line there. I don't want them to get overwhelmed. So I think that's going to be helpful. You can see we already broke one of those units, and we're going to try to get those other units taken out as well in the same fashion. So the archers are moving up. I was trying to catch that last little group there and get him moved up. We did lose one unit of what is that? Cavalry? No, that's my javelins. They had run out of javelins, and I moved them up to go into melee. They didn't like that too much, so I went ahead and just left them out of melee for now. We got 2 of our frontline units there facing those 2 units. 2 of my archers are pouring fire into their flank, and one of their units crumbled. And so now we are going to start getting a little bit of progress on that right flank there, which I guess is technically my left flank. So we're starting to see some progress there. Another unit of theirs breaks, and another unit of theirs breaks, and another unit, starting to get a wave of breaks and shatters, and we have victory over the Danes. Whew, I tell you, that was quite a battle. Could have done better, of course, but I was pretty pleased with the outcome overall. I think that we pulled it out in the end, and now we're just going to do some cleaning up of these units and get them so that they have as few few guys left over for us to worry about as possible. So go ahead and clean up these last couple, get Dubgle moving around, taking prisoners, and then this battle will be over with a decisive victory. You can see that the losses there, my God, look at the losses. Woo. But the kills are even better. Oh yeah, we killed more than we lost, so that's the idea. And yeah, so I was pretty happy, pretty pleased with that. Pretty pleased with that for sure. Lost 2,092, killed 2,850. Can't complain about that. So we're going ahead and take on the warriors for that 11% replenishment. His 2 armies split, and that leaves me with a decision of what to do. He brings his 20 stack down from Bevenberg, and I'm really worried about that. And of course, we're losing the rest of Sudriger here to the other group of Vikings as they move around and take territories away from us unhindered. Yeah, there's nothing I can do about it. I have no way to strike back against these guys at all. Mail Snatcher died in battle, which is unfortunate. So I'm go ahead and get this chap here. He's a madman. Get some extra melee attack. The King of the Danes is dead. Finn. Bye-bye, Finn. Male Isu. He's going to get a little quartermaster. And I'm trying to decide what to do with these 2 guys. They still have replenishment to do. Still quite a ways away from being a useful army. We got the Forest Foragers here. We're going to go ahead and move them up to help reinforce our lands against the Danes. We got the Day Wolves here with MacLeod, I think, who was supposed to be in the knives, but he wasn't. I couldn't quite reach that 7 stack of the Danes, so that made me a little upset because I was hoping to get those guys in a position and finish them off, but couldn't quite do it. So we decided to go for this other smaller stack of the Crows, but I didn't want to leave my 14 stack since they're in such bad shape. I didn't want to take them up against the crows all by themselves, even though we probably could have done it. And I might have even been able to hit that 20 stack with my 19 stack, but I was a little worried about what we had up here, and I was hoping Sudrier here would do something against those 2 stacks. But he looks like he is trying to decide what to do, because obviously his 15 stacks not going to be able to fight against those 2 20 stacks. And I wish Hilberg would jump in there with his 2 stacks of armies, but of course he's not doing a darn thing. So I wasn't quite sure what to do with these 2 guys. I wanted Gartenate to get in on the battle, but in the end I decided to let them just replenish over the summer and hope that we can get those guys next turn. So we're gonna go ahead and move the defenders of the hearth with Dubgul. Check where this guy he's within range of him. So I decided to move the Megrim Scodgers over there, out of range of that enemy army, but still be able to reinforce against this army. And so we're going to go ahead and finish off this little army here of the crows. I couldn't get him up there, but I took him as far north as I could. And then we're going to let the defenders of the hearth and Dubgul finish off this small stack here. Oh yeah. Should have been an auto resolve, but I was afraid I'd lose my cavalry unit there, so we went ahead and do a manual battle and get these guys taken care of with as much expediency as possible. I know it's not always fun to watch these little battles, but the auto resolve is not that great. It tends to kill off units whenever they're low health, and I couldn't afford to lose that cavalry unit, so I wanted to make sure we didn't lose units unnecessarily. They've got some good cavalry, but a lot of them don't have shields, so I feel like we can do quite a bit of work against them. I'm gonna go ahead and utilize my archers separately, get them up there skirmishing, because like I said, they don't have shields for the most part, and so I'm gonna go ahead and get as much archery work as possible done. Get my crossbows and my skirmishers in the front to get a little extra firepower done. I'm going to use my spears to try to hold them in place. Get my catapults ready to start firing as soon as possible, and the remainder of my infantry will be able to protect as needed. Get my general and my cav ready, and we will start the battle. Catapults in range already. Go ahead and start firing. These guys are going to start firing as well. And like I said, these guys do not have shields, so we can do quite a bit of work on them. Oh yeah, look at that. Killing those great axes. Just wrecking them. Oh yeah. There goes the crows coming out of the bushes. So this is going to be wrecking these guys. I mean, my gosh. But they're surprisingly, they are just still steady, still coming in there. Oh, they're shaking, but yet they still come on. So I had to get my bowmen into a different position to hopefully be able to get them in a little crossfire here. So now my crossbows and my javelins are now throwing at those guys. Yep, and one of them broke. That's good. Javelins are throwing at them. I noticed that he's moving his guys at my archers, so we're gonna go ahead and get them out of the way. Oh, so close. He could have caught us if he would have kept running, but he didn't. So that was good. He changed his mind. These guys almost get caught, but they get away just in time. He continues to pursue that unit up there, but this guy turns and fires on him just like I wanted. Right in the pocket. Goes right in the pocket. These guys are getting wrecked. They are just getting wrecked. Catapults are still firing at his general. Now my archers are free to fire at the general as well. That guy he's getting destroyed. Oh my god, he's one or two guys still rushing my archer line. Enemy general's dead. Now they're all dead. And that Danish army is no more. Dubgul is the best. Love you, Double. Love you, Double. Rub-a-dub-dub. Dubgul's in the tub. So I'm going to clean up these last couple of units. I didn't want them to end up coming back and replenishing and being a harassment out in the field. So go ahead and get that done. It's just a couple guys left. I mean, oh yeah, they got them. So killed all 180, lost 0. No, not even any friendly fire. So that's something for me. I tend to get a lot of friendly fire at times. So pretty happy that didn't have any in this case. So I'm pretty pleased about how this turned out, to tell you the truth, because I was really worried about that 2-stack versus 2-stack. In fact, I thought about it all week long. Recorded this last weekend, and now it's Thursday, Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving. And I worried about it all day long, all week long. So I went and moved them back to reinforce them. These guys are sitting pretty, waiting to fight those guys. Gonna wait and see what the 20-stack does. Hopefully Hilberg will fight that 20-stack, and we can focus our energies against Bevenberg and that remaining 20-stack. I was thinking about maybe getting another general, but wasn't sure what to do. Bevenberg does have a garrison, so I couldn't just run in and take it with a one guy unit, so I decided against forming another army there. However, I thought, well, I might need another general to start building an army up here in the north, although I only have 61 food available, and that will really hurt my casualty replenishment if I get too little food coming in. So I wasn't quite sure what to do. Iowa is still mine at the moment, but yeah, I don't know what to do to stop those Danes in the north, or the Vikings rather. But I decided to go ahead and do some upgrades that will help me in the long run, like with food and money. And I think hopefully if this province lasts 8 turns, that should help me with defending and raising new armies. I do have several armies in the south that are not doing anything, but I need to get them replenished. Go ahead and get Ruark here. Oh, sorry, we got Fergus. Fergus is going to jump into our former capital, and he's the Battle Crows of Morgan as well. Don't we already have a Battle Crow of Morgan? I'm gonna have to change that name. We'll change it next time. But gonna let him start recruiting, and hopefully he can maybe sneak in behind the Danes as they leave and take some of our provinces back. I don't know if he will be able to do it or not, but that's the idea. And now we're going to wait and see what the AI does. Stratclete does nothing. They sit in their town. Hilberg does nothing. And they go north. My biggest fear, which is they're going to go in our heartland and start wreaking havoc there. And that's exactly what they do. And of course the Vikings continue to move north. They sack Sin Regmund instead of taking it, which I was happy about. We got Connell here of the Falkta. He's going to get some forager to help with the food supply problem. And then we got Ruark of Briga. And I believe we give him Scribe for more governorship. Yeah. Which, thinking back, I probably should have given him Zeal to help with the public order problem. We do have a rebellion over here. 10 units. Rebellions are generally pretty easy. I was trying to move this general up, but I couldn't see where his movement. Well, like his movement range wasn't populated, and then finally it popped in there. I don't know what the deal was with that, but so we're going to go ahead and move him up so that he can be reinforcements in a battle against these guys. So Ness of the Tartan Fighters is going to move up there and get into position. And then we got MacLeod of the Knives. It's going to come over and attack these rebels. And it's about a 50-50% chance here that we will win. And I was not too happy about that. I was hoping it'd be a little more in our favor. But I'm going to go ahead, and I almost accidentally auto-resolved. But in the end, I got it back. And we're going to fight this battle. This battle, if I recall, could have gone a lot better. Yeah, it's a bit not good in that I end up losing a lot of troops in this battle, but they have far more troops than we do. I mean, I kind of feel okay with it because the way the numbers are so lopsided, but we'll do the best we can with what we got. So I've got 2 spears, sword, an axe, and a crossbow, and that's all I've got, and my general. So I'm gonna go ahead and get my spears and my crossbows lined up with my 2 infantry in the back for reserves, and then we'll get our reinforcement general into position as soon as possible, as soon as he pops in there. He's moving back for whatever reason, so we're going to go ahead and move our guys forward. And our reinforcements arrive. I'll go ahead and put him in the trees to wait and hide. Got 2 units of cavalry over on the right, 1 unit on the left. Those and one of the units is the enemy general. Now the other unit are skirmisher cav, and so I wanted to put all these guys in a group, but then I accidentally just put the general in a group, so that happened. I was just trying to get guys to move at the same speed here. So got those guys moving all in the same speed. The other general's hiding in the trees and waiting. I'm trying to decide if I want to go after these horse boys who are tier 1 low level skirmisher cav. It was so tempting, such a juicy target, but I didn't want to get him in a position that he would be out there alone. So I decided to go ahead and move these guys up a little more. They're not quite in range, so I wanted to get my crossbow in range of his troops so that we could start peppering them. His general's elite cavalry, so didn't want to mess with him too much. Just out of range, but if we get in range, he'll be in range with his surf archers, and I didn't want to subject my guys to that unnecessarily. So I was trying to decide what to do. Move my crossbow up just out of his range. Just out of his range. And that's when all hell begins to break loose. He decides to make his move, and then I decide just to go ahead and make my move as well. So I'm moving my guys up to get in position, and he starts making all kinds of moves. I'm thinking put them in wedge, and then I noticed that he's got a new skill, their raised banner. He gets a +6 melee skill and 25% missile block chance. So I thought I'll go in there after his skirmisher cav. Not noticing that his general was coming back over from the left, and I was thinking, oh, I'm gonna get this 1 unit out there by himself. Oh yeah, and I put the raised banner on my own self and going in for the kill again, not realizing that his general was coming up. And I was like, oh crap, the general, bring my general up to help. I stopped him and trying to decide what to do. Then I thought, well, go ahead and get in there. And so I mistakenly move him in, even though the spearmen are coming in as well. That was a really bad move on my part. Really bad move on my part. Then I start moving my guys up to engage against his forces. My general's moving in. I'm trying to get my other general out because of the spears are coming. Get them out of there, and then I decide to move these guys over and hit these javelins that are just sitting out front, and get my other general swing back around if possible, and then get MacLeod, get him out of that fray. Darthvegan, God, get him out of there. Oh, he's sticking in there. He made 2 guys rout, which is fine. Get on those archers, get out of that melee, get on the archers. You guys continue to retreat down here, get my spears ready to intercept the enemy general. But unfortunately, MacLeod is not doing a very good job of retreating. The enemy general is sticking with him hardcore. And one of my generals is dead. I'm not sure which one, if it's Ness or MacLeod. Doesn't matter, because they're both gonna die. Here's a spoiler alert. They both die. Oh man, yeah. I should have engaged all my infantry in during all that fray, but I did not, and so now both of my cavalry units are getting wrecked. And so my crossbows are back there taking pot shots. Spears are getting ready to fight the horse boys, and then they got some spearmen coming up to fight my spearmen. So I take my infantry, move them up, and I start moving my spears towards some of their horse boys, hopefully to engage. I'm sure he'll run away, but maybe I can at least chase him off a little bit and get engaged with something else. Use my crossbows against his other unit of horse boys that are just sitting pretty. Get some of them taken out because they are kind of a big threat. Get my spearmen up there against his archers. And of course his horse boys turn right back around and start peppering our spears with their javelins. And those goddamn horse boys, I tell you what, they just tick me off. Especially when I have no counter to them because I wasted my cavalry and a couple of idiotic charges. Crossbows still shooting those horse boys. Got my spears fighting those guys. Those axemen and blades are coming up to attack the remainder of his forces. It's going pretty good right now. It's going pretty good. Our spears are getting shot in the back. It's not making them too happy. Move my crossbows up to hopefully engage some of those horse boys over there on the right. I was worried sick about that unit coming back and engaging my crossbows, but they don't think they end up doing that. Those 2 guys wrecked another unit. They're going to jump on the enemy general, and the axemen are going to go after those archers. And then you can see these horse boys are moving down, and the unit does reactivate, but it goes towards my spears up there. And then of course the horse boys jump on my crossbows. Oh, knock them out. Crossbows are now out of the fight. Or are they? They are not. I decided to look at their stats. The melee on the horse boys is very low. Melee skill 15, or my melee skill is 21. So we'll go ahead and engage in melee. And the crossbows do quite well against those guys. I was pretty pleased. One of my spear units collapsed and is now leaving the field. They are completely shattered. They could not stand up against all the archer fire that was coming in. My axes, I get that they were chasing off that archer unit. They're coming back now, but they're getting shot in the back as they do so. My crossbowmen are still fighting. The horse boys are doing okay. Got my swordsmen taking on a couple of units of spearmen there. So my axemen are coming in there. And then my other spear unit is chasing off some horses and also some archers as well. We did chase off that unit of spearmen, but there's still another unit of spearmen. Got my axes coming in to finish them off. Crossbowmen are still fighting. Down here the horse boys are holding their own. Nobody's really taking a lot of hits in this case. We're still standing at 34. He's standing at 44. And then another unit of horse boys comes rushing in and hit our crossbows. And the spearmen continue to chase off 2 units and a unit of archers. Our axes and our horsemen and our blades take out the spears on the other end. So I decided to dispatch one unit down here to help out the crossbows. The other unit's going to go after those general unit. He just sits there. He doesn't even notice that we're coming at him with our axes until we're right up on him. And then we jump on him. And then, of course, his spears rally right in time to help out his general. These spearmen are continuing to chase those archers, but the archers are just outpacing them by far. The axemen are still fighting the general. The spearmen, I expect, will turn around soon and jump in the back of our axemen. Those blades should be able to rescue our wavering crossbows, hopefully. Our axemen turn around as the enemy general runs and attacks the spears who just rallied and knock them back out of the fight. Crossbows shoot the retreating horse boys. Swordsmen are going to form up again and attack these horse boys that jump back into the fray who had previously broken. Axes are now going back after the archers once again, and the enemy general's rallying his troops, coming back on hit our axemen right in the back. The archers led the other spear unit up here in the left corner, way off in the boo, so they're coming back now, hopefully. Axemen are coming back after those other archers. Blades going after those horse boys. Crossbows are shooting them as well. Axemen are going to chase off these archers, hopefully sandwich them between the spears and the axemen. But we shall see what happens with that. Crossbows are shooting at those horse boys. The spears are wavering for some reason. They're getting shot by a couple of units of archers. That's probably the reason. It's really knocking down their morale. But they got shields. I mean, hold your shields up, for God's sake. Oh my God. The morale of those spearmen just tick me off so bad. They're just awful. So I decided to get my axemen and my swordsmen and my spearmen all together once again. Safety in numbers. Then I decide, I'll get my spears after that unit of archers. The other unit of archers coming up behind them, still peppering them. And so not a good situation for those spears at all. My axemen are getting hit by the horse boys. I go ahead and engage. The swordsmen are still sitting down here protecting the crossbows. The crossbows are firing at the general. And we kill him. We kill the enemy general with a nice little hit. And that unit is trying to get out of range of our crossbows. We shatter the enemy unit of horse boys, but our axemen shatter at the same time. And that's the end of the battle for Pyrrhic victory. Whew. 374 losses, 595 kills. But overall, not very good because we lost 2 of our generals. So I was very unhappy about that. Very unhappy about that. Didn't want to lose 2 generals for sure. And so our holdings in Ireland are for sure in danger now. Go ahead and take out that rebel army, and we can go ahead and take... we lost Ness and MacLeod. Go ahead and occupy this land for a little bit of replenishment. We take Murkatek. Anyway, he's gonna take that province back. And I do notice that Dyflin is in bad shape, -13. So I'll go ahead and give them a garrison quarters to help with their public order. And I'm tempted to do the tithe barn, but we can't afford the public order hit right now. Can't afford that hit right now. And so I'll go ahead and look at who is complaining. It's Rourke, the governor. He's not happy about all these new estates that are now open since everybody's been dying. So I'll go ahead and give him Nass, which is a nice little Irish province. And I didn't look and see what his holdings were, but I'm sure he's got several holdings. I was tempted to do the tithe barn because we need additional troops, and so we need additional food. But I didn't want them to be in a position of having multiple rebellions. But on the plus side, these guys can get an upgrade to their weapons and armor, so that's good. These guys. Battle Crows of Morgan and Breed's champions. Breed is of course dead, but Mal Isu is leading this army, and I decided to go ahead and start moving him up to go to Mamcaster. And so he moves out there, and Gartnate moves over to take his place, and he will begin moving that way as well and get Gartnate in the battle. I decided that they can replenish a little as they go, and any little bit will help against these freaking Danes as they move up and cause us so many problems up here. My God, I tell you. Go ahead and take the town back from the Danes and move this other army up to reinforce them and hopefully get some replenishment. Not looking too good for them. They need help badly. I was hoping to put them in an encampment, but couldn't do that. These guys are still sitting there, and these guys are going to go ahead and finish off this other Danish army, which will only leave 2 Danish armies left in my territory. So that will be good if we can get that done. So I decided to go ahead and fight this battle again. Didn't want to risk losing some troops to the auto-resolve. I probably could have done it just fine with the auto-resolve, but I wanted to give Finnbogi here and the Sons of Odin a little taste of MacLeod and the Dig Wolves. So that's what we're going to do. I tell you what, I fought a lot of battles this episode. Gonna wait until it's nice and dry and clear. Yep. And then we're gonna go ahead and get our troops ready, and we're gonna kind of do the same thing we did the last battle, where we try to trap the enemy and take them out as expeditiously as possible. So take them out with expedience. Expedia.com. Take our archers up there, get them ready, and then move our infantry into a position to get them ready to intercept, and then get our cavalry as screens. I don't know why I always end up flip-flopping those. It's been much better if I'd done the opposite, but anyway, doesn't matter. Getting my bows ready, getting them in guard, and off we go. Gonna start firing automatically at the only unit I can see, which is a little bit of I didn't even see what they were.
The enemy approaches.
But the enemy's coming out of the trees and getting all my guys into position, and hopefully be able to intercept them without losing any archers. I was really surprised it took them so long to get out of the trees. I was thinking they would jump out any second, but they really didn't. And there they are. They're finally showing their ugly faces. We start laying down the fire automatically, and I tell you what, we wrecked those guys. We gave them what for. The Huskarls are coming. The mailed spearmen are coming. I didn't want to get my cavalry in those spears, but I saw that they were going towards the archers, but I went ahead and moved my horses back anyway. Those horses came in to try to hit my archers, then they changed their mind at the last second, and that cost them because I get my cavalry on them. Our archers are just killing the enemy there. Got catapults, doing nice work on the enemy formations. And I decided to go ahead and move my infantry up, get them in position to intercept those guys. Get my archers moved over to the right and get them out of the line of fire. Catapult's going to fire on Finnbogi, and we got MacLeod going to come over here and get out of the way of those spears and other units. And got my catapults are working on Finnbogi. My infantry are cleaning up all these Huskarls. Got my archers getting ready to fire. They're going to fire on those skirmishers up there. Got my cavalry on the skirmishers. Catapults are now firing at them. Told them to go ahead and stop. I didn't want them to kill my spearmen accidentally. So spearmen are fighting Finnbogi there. Get my crossbows firing at Finnbogi and my javelins. Those first unit of Danes crumbled against my infantry there, so I'm moving some additional spears and swords to intercept them. Those skirmishers are out of the battle, and so now all that is left is Finnbogi and his ilk, and we're going to take him out without too much trouble. Continuing to pepper him with archer fire. Get my spearmen all getting in on him. Could have used a different unit besides spearmen, probably been better, but didn't matter. They collapsed and we win. finish off Finn Bogey. Make sure there's no leftovers to face after this battle is over. That's my biggest concern. Sick and tired of fighting the Danes. Sick and tired of fighting the Danes. Yeah, we got it. Decisive victory. 84 losses, 256 kills. Wonderful. You can see they've only got 62 kills, so we had a little bit of friendly fire there. Probably catapult, maybe a little bit of archers, I don't know. Maybe a little both. Probably a little both. Probably a little bit of both. And bye-bye Danes. Beautiful. I decided to take that 3%. 3% is better than no percent, right? 3%. Don't worry about killing captives. You just click 3%. Alright. The men are now eager to get to it, as you can see. And these guys, I decide to take a look at what's going on in the north here with Sin Rigmunded. And MacLeod leveled up, which is good. Give him a little more quartermaster. And hopefully I can get my armies up here to assist in these battles before it's too late. Before it's too late! If we can beat these Danish armies, we'll win the game. That'll be the end of the game. If we can beat them. That's a big if. It's a big if. So Strachleet's taking back some of their territory. Hilberg, I don't know what they're doing. I'm sick of them. I want them to help. Of course, these freaking Vikings in the north are going up towards Blascona, and yeah, just taking territory left and right. Taking territory left and right. Not good. Not good. I'm hoping as they move, I can continue to take back some of my territory. Of course, Rourke here decides he wants to one of my public offices. South Saxa was destroyed, which is interesting. Got a little bit of a rebellion here. I figure Gartnay can probably take care of that. Got a little bit of disloyalty going on. A couple of upgrades ready. Gonna move Brui's champions, try to get them up to Mamcaster. Hopefully soon. Got Carlos of Monod here. He's gonna take some more scribe. Help me with the, hopefully with the food and the money. Got Gwyneth, got a little bit of rebellion. And also got Dubthek ready to upgrade. Gonna take a little bit of zeal for him to help with the public order problem down here. And probably wouldn't hurt to take that church as well. And Loidus, get Loidus upgraded. Somebody's unhappy. Who is it? Who is unhappy? It's this guy, American. He's American. He's American. He needs some estates. Look at him. He's got 0 loyalty, man. 0. So I'm going to give him Castletown. And that makes Dubthek mad. He's like, hey, I don't have a thing. So I have to give Dubthek a province as well. There you go. There you go, buddy boy. And still unhappy. American's still unhappy. Now he's got 2 provinces, and several of my guys only have 1 who are much more loyal. Anyways, doesn't matter. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, throw me some likes, leave me some comments, and as always, subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.